Hey guys, welcome back. Thechrisfrantz here. Welcome back to my channel, Frantz Rants. Really stupid title, but I'm in too deep now. I'm not going to change it, and it's appropriate because I am going to be ranting today about something that's very near and dear to my heart that I feel very passionate about. That's right, the Batman. Just saw the new Batman movie. The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, in theaters, and yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on this one. Eagerly anticipated film. But yeah, I'm going to share my thoughts with you. So, the Batman. But before I do that, a word from our sponsors, unofficial sponsors. Our drink of the week is Mission Abort IPA by Pizza Boy Brewing Company. It's a Citra and Mosaic IPA, 7.9%. Guaranteed to knock you on your ass like Batman will do to the criminal. Recommended reading of the week is The Dark Knight Returns saga. This is the Frank Miller graphic novel. Frank Miller revived a lot of comics in the 80s, brought the darker edge to them, made people take him seriously, such as Swamp Thing, Daredevil, and of course, Batman. Inspired the 89 movie, Michael Keaton, and the embracing the original dark roots of the character. But yeah, the Batman, directed by Matt Reeves. He's had a very interesting career. He started off in the 90s. He directed a romantic comedy that if you ever stayed sick from school watching HBO back in the day, you may have seen. It was called The Pallbearer, starring David Schwimmer, who played Ross on Friends, and Gwyneth Paltrow. He also directed Under Siege 2, Dark Territory. He also directed the last few Planet of the Apes movies. And speaking of dark territory, the Batman goes into some dark territory. So I'm just going to get right into it. Let's start with the good things about this movie. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. That's how I feel about this movie. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. So here are the good things about the movie. Bobby P, Robert Pattinson. You know, he caught a lot of shit when he was cast in this role, but I think the character Batman is so loved, and so many people feel like they own that character in their hearts, that there's always going to be a maelstrom against any actor who gets this role, because it's, in American pop culture, it's huge. It's kind of like what James Bond is in England, you know? It's, people flip about the casting. Well, he didn't do a bad job. He was actually really awesome. He's a great actor. His voice was good. It wasn't over the top. It was soft but aggressive and threatening when he needed it to be. The fight scenes were choreographed really well. He was physical Batman. Really made you believe he was Batman when Michael Keaton was cast back in the day. No one would ever believe that guy, average Joe, would be fighting all these criminals at night and kicking their asses. And they bought it with that movie, even though the fights were just like this. Like nothing really happened. This one has some serious good fight scenes in it. Pattinson did a great job. The way he emotes feelings with his eyes. He did a great job. The cast of this movie is the best part. It's funny when I asked a few of my friends who saw this before me. That's what they said. I was like, was it good? And they said, oh, the cast was perfect. I found a little suspect that they didn't elaborate beyond that. Anyway, you know, John Turturro, as Carmen Falcone is fantastic. The mob boss. Colin Farrell as the Penguin was great. Andy Serkis as Alfred was great. One thing Andy Serkis and Colin Farrell have in common in this film is that they are very underutilized, which is a shame. Zoe Kravitz was great. The whole cast is great. I literally have no problem with the cast. Problem I have with the movie, it was way too long. Before you throw tomatoes at me and flip out, here's the thing. When I say that, people immediately say, well, you know, The Dark Knight was long. The Dark Knight was engaging, and most importantly, it was edited very well. You could tell they had a lot, like a big palette to work with, and they just chopped it down, cut off all the excess fat, just kept like that real good meat, you know what I mean? This movie did not. A movie doesn't have, just because the movie's long doesn't make it good, you know? There are plenty of songs that are 2.5 minutes that are like the greatest rock songs ever made. You know, not everything has to be Stairway to Heaven or Bohemian Rhapsody. That's what this movie was trying to be. And that's okay, but in 3 hours, you don't get a lot of character development. Jeffrey Wright plays Jim Gordon. He's fantastic, but you don't really find out much about him. I mean, we know this is year 2 of Batman when he's first starting out, and the only exposition or background of these characters you hear is just what other people just randomly say. Like, Jim Gordon's like, yeah, man, I've only known you 2 years, I don't even know your name. I want to know, and of course I know because I'm a Batman fan, but let's say I wasn't a Batman fan, I'm just watching a movie. I would like to find out, I wonder how they became allies, because dude's pretty sketchy, you know? People don't trust Batman yet. Why are they allies? What did he do? How did he gain Gordon's trust? I mean, I know it because I'm a fan, and a lot of people know the mythos of Batman, but, you know, that's the problem with this movie. It's conceded that they just assume the audience, oh yeah, you know these characters, here you go. You don't get to do that. And that's another thing about the Nolan movies I think are so special, is they try their best, and don't get me wrong, they're not perfect, but they try their best to like give those characters a little bit of heart and soul and some background. So you don't get a lot of character development from him. You don't get a lot of character development from Catwoman, even though she's really good in it. Kind of a cool story arc with her. Yeah, the action scenes are really good. Again, it's just so long, and there's a car chase, which is really good. There is, what else did I like about this movie? The music's good. Gotham City, though, they need to work on their pollution, and it seems like all it ever does is rain in that town. One thing I didn't like, they shied away from, was the whole, I was really intrigued to see what the Bruce Wayne would be like in this movie, and he's very subdued and almost a non-entity, which I don't think they were doing intentionally. It just kind of happened that way. The Batman. But as his Batman, he's a great Batman, very intimidating, very physical. See, heavy editing. This is why heavy editing. Oh man, I'm fucking tired. You know, it's that movie. I'm tired just thinking about it. I watched it again last night, and I liked it even less, and I didn't like it the first time. Is it a bad movie? No. Will I ever watch it again? No. So then where does that leave us? You know, it's like in the purgatory of Batman movies. It's like the worst of the best Batman movies. You know, Dark Knight, the original with Keaton. You know, Batman Begins. Even Dark Knight Rises. I'm not a huge Batman Returns fan. But even those are the 5, you know. This movie's like at the bottom of those, in my opinion. Too long. You know, they really ask a lot of someone, and not just that the movie's long, but it's supposed to be a mystery, right? They beat these metaphors and themes over your head. It's like, I know this movie, it's a comic book movie, so kids are going to watch it, so they have to kind of feel like they have to break it down and explain everything to you, but like, it's a mystery. I like when I watch a movie and I walk out of it and I talk to a friend, and I'm like, wait a minute, why did this happen? Or why did this person do this? And they explain it, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool. You know, like, don't spell it all out for me, you know? And as you know, the bad guy is the Riddler. And another thing that bothered me is like riddles weren't like he would leave like ciphers like for the Zodiac Killer, and there'd just be like a scene where like Alfred's like the one who figured it out, and they don't even really explain how or what it really is. And then the other riddles would be like there's a part where like Batman opens up a letter addressed to him, and it says answer the phone, and then the phone ringing. You know, that's not a riddle, that's a sentence. You know what I mean? And it was just stuff like that. They were paying homage to like Seven and, you know, all these different movies, the serial, the way the Riddler was portrayed, but without the intelligence. It was all all style, no substance. It was just all sheen. It's you know, your car can have a great paint job, but if the engine doesn't work, like what's the point? It's just gonna sit in the rain in your yard, Gotham City. But Paul Dano was good, but he was also, and maybe it's not even his fault, like his character. And look, I'm not going to spoil any big parts of the movie other than what you've really seen in the commercials, so just a heads up. But his character, like his main thing is sending these disturbing videos, viral videos out, you know, of his crimes. And it's literally like they took the scene in The Dark Knight when the Joker made his video, and they just copied it like over and over again in the movie. And then the Riddler, he just has like this weird, creepy voice. Oh, like, oh gee, where have we heard that before? You know. I will say, up on a positive, the end of the movie was different than we're used to. And it was uplifting in a way. It was cool, but it was not. It did not make me happy about what came before it. There's lots of cliche parts in that movie. You know, there's a whole. I won't give that away. This movie tries to make you care about characters without really telling you anything about them or why you should care about them. You care about Batman. You know, and it's funny, like, I was doing some work around the house and Law and Order was randomly on TV. Not a show that I watch. And everyone knows, like, the standard thing in Law and Order. It follows its beats. You know, every episode, every week. But I was thinking, I'm like, you know, that's pretty every week. These writers are coming up with these cool little crimes or mysteries, you know, little things to solve. And I was like, yeah, I wonder like how they're gonna dazzle me. Like, what's the Riddler's like? What are his riddles and puzzles? What kind of stuff's he gonna make Batman do? And it's nothing too crazy, you know. It's just the same old thing. Nothing new here. Nothing mind blowing. Nothing that makes your jaw drop. Yeah, there's a couple. I heard a couple unintentional laughs in the theater. Here's the thing: I'm not trying to be negative, and like it is what it is. It's Hollywood. Movies come out, and like everyone has their high expectations. Or I didn't have like crazy high expectations. I just demand the best for Batman. I don't like seeing people are telling me they think it's better than The Dark Knight. I should be like, well, how many movies have you actually seen in your life? There's no way that's true. A movie can be long, but it better be gripping. It should be engaging. It should grab you and not let go. And this movie really meanders a lot. The Batman. And but again, there's some cool parts, but some of its parts don't make up a worthwhile whole. But yeah, you know, with that being said, I give The Batman a C, and I think that's more than reasonable. And more than fair. It's not a bad movie, but I have no desire to ever watch it again. Robert Pattinson is an excellent Batman. I'd like to see him develop more as Bruce Wayne. Yeah, you know, check it out when it comes out on streaming. You know, it's not great. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. I've not read a single bad review of it, and I think that's ridiculous because the pacing in this movie is non-existent. It's like they just couldn't stop. And if you're gonna have a long movie, have some interesting stuff happen. Like there's scenes with like Commissioner Gordon, and he just seems like he's there to like hold the flashlight and go, "Oh, Batman, we found a clue." You know, it's just he's a great character. Yeah, you know, it's just kind of it took the wind out of my sails. Then they also try to force in other Batman things. I'm not gonna say what it is, so I don't want to ruin it. But it's like, come on. Do you need to? You gotta jam everything. Like, you'll see what I mean. Couple really cool parts though. Great car chase. Finale was really good. Kind of a cool, interesting subplot. It's definitely a real nihilistic movie, but the colors are very muted, high dark contrast. Gotham City looks great. It looks just like a real trashy future of New York City kind of style. There's like a Gotham Square, Times Square kind of thing. It's just pretty cool. The way the Batman is introduced is really awesome. But if they cut out like 30 minutes of him like walking slowly or looking at things, if they cut out 45 minutes of this movie, it would be awesome. I'd give it an A or B plus probably, because there's a lot of value in this movie. Lots of cool things happen, but not enough. Yeah, you know, watch it. But all it made me want to do is think about. It just reminded me how awesome Batman really is, and you know, check it out. A friend of mine, he's a hardcore Batman fan. He's seen it like 4 times already, and he said to me, "Watch it again. It grows on you." No, it doesn't grow on you. It's Batman. I'm supposed to like it the first time I watch it. Okay? It's not like the Coen Brothers movie. Alright? Like, when I was a kid and I saw Miller's Crossing, thinking it was a mobster movie, and I didn't understand it. But then, as an adult, I watched it again, and I was like, wow, that was brilliant. I understand all these different themes and levels of what's the metaphors and everything that's happening. That's not what a Batman movie is for, okay? It's not scotch or a fine wine that like just gets better over time as your tastes get more distinguished. It's fucking Batman. You're supposed to like it the first time. Another thing about this movie, a lot of people wrestle with ratings, especially in superhero movies. You know, Deadpool is an R-rated comic book movie, and it did very well because it serves a character. I like gritty movies. Crime drama is my favorite. You know, Heat, heavily inspired. The Dark Knight, which is one of my favorite, both of those are a couple of my favorite movies, but I'm a strong believer that Batman movies, though the character is dark and foreboding and gritty, it's a comic book. It's for kids. Adults happen to like it too. I don't think Batman movies should ever be rated R. With that being said, I read one critic who said, "The Batman, it's like an R-rated movie edited to be shown at Walmart." And it kind of takes, I understand they have to do some of this stuff, like, it kind of takes me out of the movie when a character gets, like, bludgeoned with a hammer, and then there's, like, no blood with the hammer. Or stabbed, and there's, like, this much blood. Or shot, and there's nothing. It takes it out of the movie. Again, with the editing. You know, edit out those after, just make it more implied, so it looks less stupid. But yeah, I mean, grittier doesn't always mean good. You know, this movie is gritty for days. And it's just a collection of some cool moments. I really hope they make a director's cut. Like, and by cut, I mean cut out like 45 minutes of stuff. Because I really think, I feel like this movie's an A. But, you know, my favorite movies are the ones I want to go run out and see again. I don't want to see this movie. And to everyone who will argue with me on that, you know what? Go see it again. Like, go watch this movie. Like, you will fall asleep. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hit the subscribe. Fight crime in an alley. You know, hit the like button, argue with me in the comments. It's free country. And, you know, if you know anyone who says to you, "I swear this movie's better than The Dark Knight," you look them right in the eye and you say, "Swear to me."